Hey Al, Melissa here with Modified by Melissa, and I wanted to just talk to you a little bit about our two new back to school guides that we have out now. Hopefully, you've gotten a chance to check them out. If not, I will be sure to link some information here so you can check them out. I've been getting some questions about the difference between the two guides, and I thought it might be helpful to just jump on and do a quick video, kind of explain a little bit about where we're coming from with both of the guides, and also just kind of walk you through a really quick walkthrough via video so you can see it for yourself. So first of all, the main difference I want to say between the two guides is that basically the first guide is kind of the original guide, which we started last year and updated again this year. And that guide is definitely more focused on kind of regular back to school times. So a lot of the information and tips and things are all focused on being able to go out to stores to shop for supplies and clothes, scheduling appointments for regular like back to school events and things like that. And so all of that is really focused more on what would be happening kind of on a regular school year starting. The second guide is some of that same information, but we tweaked it so that it's focused solely on being able to kind of do that remote planning is what we called it. And so it's a lot of content on walking you through shopping online for supplies and clothes, especially if that's something that you've not done before, or at least maybe not done for your kids. I talk you through some things to just be thinking about when you are shopping online, and just talking about some ways that you can still save money even if you're not going into stores, and being able to shop different sales that way. So some of the kind of workbook pages are similar, but they are kind of being applied in different ways. And so I just wanted to kind of do a scroll here through the guides, show you the differences between the two. One thing to note is that this year we also made it to where it is fillable. So if you download it on your computer, you can actually fill in the worksheets right there on your computer desktop, and you don't have to print it out if you don't want to. Now, if you want to print it out and you'd rather handwrite the things in, then you obviously are still more than welcome to do that as well. But we did add that kind of fillable feature in this year just to make it that much easier and more accessible for you, and give you the opportunity to really be able to put it to use. So, like I said, the first back to school guide here is the Ultimate Organizing Guide. This is just kind of an introduction here about who I am, where we were kind of, what our mindset was of putting this guide together, and how we think it's really going to be beneficial for you. Then we kind of drop in here to the different sections or parts that we have. And the first part is all about scheduling time. So I walk you through, things to be thinking about and events and appointments that you need to get onto your calendar, giving you some access to that. I talk a little bit here about creating a command center for your calendar, and kind of a central location of where to put that in your home, which I think really, improves the chances of having success with that. And so I just kind of share, some of my thoughts on that. And again, how what I recommend in terms of filling out your calendar, where to go to get information about certain back to school things, and all of that. So that kind of walks you through there. School shopping here. This is just kind of a start to it. There are resources also linked within the guides, which I think is really awesome. So make sure you check those out when you grab the guide. And talking again, scheduling time, talking about that bedtime routine, which is really important when you're getting ready for back to school. Things got a little bit more lax during the summer. And at the end of each part, we actually have a whole sheet of resources. And so these are all clickable links that will take you to outside resources that kind of build on, the things that we talked about. So giving you some more ideas for how to create your command center, more resources for supply shopping. So again, like those tax-free weekends, which, they may or may not have online this coming year. But all of those are clickable links, which is really one of my favorite parts as well. Part 2 is all about clothes. So we're talking about shopping. We're talking about sorting through all the clothes that you already have and kind of figuring out what you have and what you need. I think that's really a powerful step not to miss when you're getting ready for back to school, so that you don't unnecessarily spend money on things that you might have and just not realize that you still have it. So I kind of walk you through all of that. Again, providing some resources there, adding shopping dates to your calendar, and then what to do with it once you get the clothes. So how to get them organized, a couple ideas on systems that you can create that make it easy for kids to be able to do it on their own, and really feel empowered to be able to pick out their outfits and get dressed in the morning on their own, if they're at that appropriate age. So walking through all of that, again, resource list here. These are all links that go to outside resources, which is really, really cool. We even included a couple here for some storage label ideas for clothing and things like that. So make sure you check those out. And part 3 is creating a homework station within your home. So I kind of walk you through why I think that's important to have. And I also walk you through like some main things to be thinking about. There's 100,000 different ways that you can set up a homework station within your home. But kind of 3 general things that you can always be, that are always applicable are kind of listed here. And I lay out why I think that is. Also having certain station areas, things to include in terms of that. And I just really walk you through all of my reasonings on that. And then also I have here on the last part of this is just doing a couple fun kind of quizzes and assessments with your kids to figure out what type of learners they are, because that really can make an impact on this type of homework station or learning environment that you set up within your home. So I just kind of provide some of that there for you. And again, some more resources here for you to really find something that works for you, and be able to kind of cater that to your own situation. So that is it for the first guide. All the content is there. And then on the last part of it is actually where all the planning pages are. So things that I've referenced throughout the guide then are now here at the end, that you can use to, to access some information and be able to really track what you've got going on. So scheduling checklist of ideas, command center checklist, blank calendar pages, on and on and on. These are some really, really powerful resources, I think, to really get you started, help you get focused on what you need to be thinking about and all of that. And so we've included that there. We've got our school supply tracker, which again is kind of going back through your own resources and figuring out what you have, what you need, and being able to really see clearly, what you need to shop for. Store sales, again, if you are able to shop in stores, this is a way to kind of track all of that, keep an idea of what you need, where you can get it, all of that. Weekday labels, which you can use if you want. If you like ours, they're pretty simple. I wanted to keep it pretty basic in terms of being able to print off, but if you like that, please use them, print them off. You can stick them to your kids' clothing. And then here, this last page for planning your homework station design, if that's something that appeals to you. So that is it for the first guide that, like I said, is more for kind of regular back to school times. And then this year we created a separate remote school planning guide that is really focused on being able to do things from home. So like I said, we kind of included similar information. We've got part 1 here again, which is scheduling time, but we really turned it around and focused it on how you can schedule time when you're doing a lot of things remotely. Some things to be thinking about, some questions to ask, if there are back to school events happening, but they're maybe virtually happening, or they're happening on different nights because they're trying to keep the numbers of people, low, things like that. That's all kind of talked through in there. And again, still, scheduling your calendar, creating that command center, all of those things are included there. Putting them on the calendar, again, still very important, just looks a little bit different. Resources here, and talking about, some time-saving tips and things like that. Command center ideas, all really powerful stuff. Part 2 then, like I said, is all about online shopping. So I kind of walk you through some things to be thinking about if you're shopping with a company for the first time online. There are some things that I think are important to consider before you kind of make your decision and just purchase from them, because you definitely want to kind of have that awareness, in terms of their return policy and any of their like shipping costs or return shipping costs and things like that, that really can make a difference for you, and may, cause you to choose something different, with a more flexible policy. So those are some things that I think are important to be thinking about. Kind of some easy tips for how to get started online shopping when you're looking at clothes. And, again, kind of walking through how to go through clothes with your kids, how to figure out what you still need, maybe what you already have and don't, if you don't need anything else. Supply shopping here. Again, just really talking through a lot of that. And again, like I said, saving money here. So just talking about, reminding you basically that stores still have different discounts that you can access online. And sometimes it's not really straightforward on the website, or sometimes you have to have a code or different things, or you've had to verify some information first. And so, these are just some of my things that I've learned along the way that I think are really important to help you save money. There's cash back programs, and so you can look into some of those. There's one here that I use and recommend. And again, the second part here has all these resources that go to outside content, and really just to give you more ideas if you're looking for that. And help you just feel really empowered and confident when you are shopping online. Part 3, we turned that into a section all about routines. So in the first guide, we talked just about bedtime routines, but now we're talking about prepping clothes and how that should be a routine each week. We're talking about a daily routine. If your kids are working virtually at home, it's really important to still have a schedule and a routine each day that the kids can follow and kind of know what's coming next. And that's a really, really powerful tool. And again, of course, talking about bedtime and figuring out how to kind of get that started. And again, more resources here, all to outside links, which is great. And then part 4, again, we kind of expanded that DIY home station. So we did include the homework station like we did in the first guide, but then we also were talking about how to set up like a snack station, so that if your kids aren't or are home every day and they're old enough to be able to get some snacks on their own, that's something really powerful to set up. And I kind of walk you through what to consider and how to get that started. And then also a sanitization station. And this was kind of an interesting topic that we were talking about when we were looking at the guide. And if whether your kids are going to school or if you have to go out for any reason, having a sanitization station may be something that's important to you and something that you want to get set up. And so I just kind of talk about some basic things that you can include with it, where to put it, and then talking about some different sanitization things that you can purchase to add to your station. And again, all of our resources here. And that's the end of the guide. So on the back end, again, we've got the same type of setup where you've got all of these different worksheets that you can use to help yourself plan and prepare. And they, again, are all fillable. If you download the guide to your computer, then you can fill it in directly on your computer without having to print it, if that's your preference. So even like these calendars, you can type in here and really utilize that. So that's it with the 2 guides. I wanted to walk you through again, just kind of what the differences were, and so you could really get a chance to see it. I know sometimes it's hard when you are looking on the website and you're not really sure what you're getting with it. And so I wanted to be really straightforward and kind of show you how much value I think these guides really have and how powerful I think they can be in helping you feel prepared and ready to take on back to school. So if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to me. We've included here some daily planner sheets, daily schedules, things like that, which I think is really great. We also included a weekly schedule planner, which can be really important, especially if your kids are at home. And again, with the grid for planning. But that's it, guys. And so I hope that you really find this useful and it's helpful to you this coming school year. And I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.